Hey, what's up guys? So Nationals 2012 is coming up quite soon, and I want to talk about some of the decks that will be seeing some play, as well as some of the more interesting decks that will be there, so be expected to play some of these decks. So I want to start off with some of the lower tier decks, so these decks haven't been topping like, in the top 8, I would say, as often as some of the other decks that we'll go over later on. So I want to start off with the lower tier decks. Let's start off with 6 Samurais. Now, 6 Samurais are getting a structure deck, and they've also had some reprints. Shion did get reprinted, so you'll be expected to see some 6 Samurais just because some people were a fan of the deck. Smoke Signal is now at 2, so, some people are a fan of the deck, and they'll still play this deck. I mean, anytime you open up with Gateway and you got your 6 Sam Uniteds, and you can get, your setup pretty good, I'd say. It is a deck that can put a good fight. Next up, I want to talk about Gravekeepers. Now, Gravekeepers have a pretty decent matchup against Chaos Dragons sometimes, just because Chaos Dragons can't remove once Necro Valley is on the field, as well as Inzectors, they can't equip Hornet from the graveyard. That can become problematic. Plus, this card right here, which they always seem to have against me, always first turn, and that is Royal Tribute, and that card definitely hurts a lot of different decks, especially when they can get it off first turn. It's pretty good. Next up, the whole, junk, the quick draw that did top. It's a pretty interesting deck, and I'm really hoping to see some more people play this because it is a great deck, and I like a deck that has options, kind of like a toolbox deck. I think those decks are really interesting to see play because you will see plays that you normally wouldn't think of, whereas some of the meta, most of the things are pretty linear. They go for the same play they usually go for because it's most likely the best play, although you can see really cool plays in junk decks or any of the, if you guys remember Plants, that was a deck that had a lot of different options. It was pretty cool. Another deck, well, this is the final countdown deck, but Karkar D is a very good card in that deck, obviously, to help speed up the consistency of the deck, as well as get those extra pluses that you need. And so, yeah, that will definitely be seeing some play as it has topped. Next deck I want to talk about is Heretics, and so a lot of people are trying the deck out. It's an interesting deck, although I wouldn't say the deck is complete. It is still missing that Gustav Cannon, and that card definitely will help out Heretics once that card comes out. And the last of the the lower tier decks, I would say, not low tier, but they're almost there as far as being able to be in the top 8 contenders. E-Heroes. E-Heroes is a very good deck. It has really good consistency, although it does fall apart to, I would say, Dark Worlds really fast. It has a really bad matchup. So once that Dark E-Hero comes out that you can use Super Poly with, I think that will help them out quite a bit because Grapha is a problem because, first of all, some E-Heroes do run Skill Drain, and Skill Drain doesn't really hurt Dark Worlds at all because their effects resolve off the field. But when you do side those D-Fissures in, it does hurt Dark World, but although it kind of can hurt you too because then your Miracle Fusions aren't as live. And so for the secondary tier decks, I would say I would love to see the quick draw junk deck be there and top again because I think it's a really cool deck. So I'm going to say my hopes for that deck are going to be the highest. I really want that deck to win. And let's go on and talk about the higher tier decks. So the toppest of tier decks, I want to start off with Windups just because usually Windups will play Tour Guide, and if they can get off their loop first turn, it does help out quite a bit. Although I would say Dark Worlds, they can have an okay matchup as long as they don't get the loop off. The loop can hurt because remember, it's sent to the graveyard, not discard. So Dark Worlds will not get their effects when the Windup Hunter starts discarding your cards. But Windups is still a great deck, but I feel like it's a deck where going first is very important because once your opponent sets a whole bunch of stuff and they can negate your summon, you're pretty much using you need your one summon to go off. That's very important in Windups. That's why a lot of them do play multiple MSTs. Next deck, Dark World, and I think Dark World has a great matchup against Chaos Dragons because Chaos Dragons, their highest beater usually is the Reddish Darkness Metal, which is 2800. If you get Grapha out on the field and you have the field spell out, you can keep on attacking them, and they really can't do too much other than block for a while. I know they do have BLS, they have Chaos Searcher as answers, sometimes they'll have Plug Spreader as well, but the thing is, if you have Skill Drain, basically, if you have your Skill Drain out and you have your Grapha out, you can keep on recycling Grapha, as you guys know. I think Dark Worlds have a pretty good matchup against Chaos Dragons, as well as Dino Rabbit, because, Dino Rabbit has a tough time getting over strong monsters sometimes, and sometimes when you activate Dark World Dealings, Dino Rabbit players oh, do I want to negate that? Is he going to have Grapha? It really puts them in a situation where they really have to think what you could possibly have in your hand. Next up, Inzectors. Now, Inzectors, they still need to get first place. Definitely one of my favorites out of the top before. Although I kind of stopped playing this deck just because I kind of got bored of it. But Insector's very good deck just because pretty much any Insector, once you have Hornet in the grave, can answer a lot of different things. So there's one problematic card, you just go, oh, let me get rid of it, pop it with Hornet. It's really good, and it has some pretty good matchup against some decks that set a lot. I know that Gravekeepers is a deck that sets a lot, but again, Necro Valley, it hurts sometimes if you have Hornet in the grave. If you have Hornet in the hand, though, it's fine. Next up, Dino Rabbit's very good deck. Again, it's one of those decks where going first is really key because once you get your stuff negated, it kind of hurts. Again, it's one of those decks where they just have one summon, and you negate the one summon, it does put them in a bad spot. And so I really say Chaos Dragons have a better matchup against this deck, as well as Dark Worlds, again, just because the strong monsters. And Chaos Dragons just go, oh, you negated my summon, it's fine, I'll just get Light Pulsar and I'll just discard from my hand. So I feel like Chaos Dragons is a great deck against this, and it has a really good matchup. And the last deck, obviously, being Chaos Dragons. Revealing this card first turn, you know that you have to worry no more, because once you reveal this card and you go, oh, I'm going to Future Fusion for this, it really sets it up so you go plus a bunch, you get rid of a lot of the dead draws, because drawing Eclipse Wyvern or Wyvern isn't too great, as you guys know. If you guys play Chaos Dragons, you'll realize that Eclipse Wyvern is not the best card to draw. You want to draw into your Lilas, and you want to get through your deck as fast as possible so you can go for that Future Fusion, because that is a card where if you open up with it and your opponent can't really stop you, it is problematic for your opponent, because it sets it up so well to where you have, you got your Lights and Darks in the graveyard, you get your Eclipse Wyvern's effect to get rid of the Dark Armed or Judgment Dragon if you are playing that variant. It just allows you to have so many options, and I feel like that is definitely one of the best decks. That is the deck that I'm going to say I think that will actually take victory, not only because a lot of people have access to it, because, it's basically 3 structure decks and a few other cards added, and that is definitely one of the best decks as far as contender, just because it's really easy to get, and it's pretty simple to play. I mean, most of the plays are really linear. You have basically, 1 or 2 options, and it has the ability to, have great draw power, as well as the side deck not hurting you as much as other decks. Usually they play so aggressively that, they can just outspeed you before you can even draw your side deck cards. Mostly Light Imprisoning Mirror being one of the side cards, because I feel like Electric Virus, it's just, by the time you get all your dragons and you're pushing, you basically win. So the thing is, against Mirror Match, if you are playing Chaos Dragons and you don't like the Mirror Match, you can try Victoria. Victoria is a great card because your opponent doesn't have control what they mill on the end phase, and if they mill Red Eyes Darkness Metal, and you summon Victoria, and you get back the Red Eyes Darkness Metal to get back another one of your monsters, and you can do a lot of damage, and you can just kind of finish them off. So Chaos Dragons, definitely my vote for the one that's going to take victory at Nationals, because it has a lot of great matchups, and it's really fast. Like, the deck can really outspeed a lot of different decks, and as well as having a lot of options to get over certain cards, it does help. And the only bad matchup I would say Dark Worlds have a better matchup against Chaos Dragons, just simply because Skill Drain hurts them a lot, as well as getting out that Grapha. It's just, you have really limited answers. Once Grapha comes out with a field spell, because Chaos Dragons, they generally rely off Lila to destroy the the back row. So some won't play 3 MST, some play 1 to 2. But yeah, Chaos Dragons definitely a contender to be the victor at Nationals for this year. But thanks for watching, guys, and let me know what you guys think that's going to be topping. As far as name one of the top tier decks. So maybe for example, name like Chaos Dragons or Windups or Dark Worlds or Insectors, and then also let me know what you think is going to win for the lower tier decks, because my favorite for lower is going to be the junk deck, because I think that I really like the playstyle of the deck. And yeah, let me know what you guys think is going to win as far as high tier, and maybe we'll just call it low tier. So I'm going to say high tier for me, Chaos Dragons, and low tier, the whole junk deck. But thanks for watching, guys. Asian Eyes White Dragon, signing out.